What is up, YouTube? Today I'm coming back at you with another video, and today's video is another DVD/Blu-ray pickups video, and this is for the previous month of March, and I have a lot of stuff. This has to be one of my largest movie pickups I think I've ever done. I've got about 40 different things here, so there's a lot, and that pretty much spans everything from DVD to 4K. So I have a ton of stuff. I'll talk a little bit about each one as I go through it. If you have any comments or questions, leave them in the comment box below, and I try to answer all my comments and questions. And also thank you to all of my subscribers. Now that I have over 800 subscribers, I think it's really cool that many people enjoy my content, and I enjoy hearing from you guys, and I just want to thank you guys again. But let's just get right into it. We'll start with the DVDs, then we'll go to the Blu-rays, and then the 4Ks. So let's start off with the DVDs. Alright, so the first two things kind of go together, and I picked these up from a local used store. These are something that I've wanted to pick up, mainly because I have my first child on the way, and I want her to be able to watch some of the kids' movies that I saw growing up. And so these were two that I absolutely loved growing up, and so I needed to add these to the collection, and I found them used for about $5 a piece. So I got the original Mighty Ducks and the Mighty Ducks 2. I've seen both of these. I haven't seen them in a long time, but I do remember liking the first one a bit better, but I did like the second one. Now, there was also Mighty Ducks 3, but I have never seen Mighty Ducks 3, so I don't know if it was any good or not. So I decided not to pick that one up, but these are the DVD releases. There are Blu-ray releases of this, but you had to have Disney Club membership, and I really don't like that service. So I was fine with the DVD, especially since these were both $5 a piece, and they look practically brand new. But they're pretty bare bones copies, no special features, but they are widescreen, so I'm okay with that. So that was the first thing I picked up on DVD. Alright, let's go to these things, since these all group together as well. So these are 4 different things that I picked up. And yeah, so I picked up The Simpsons Season 5, The Simpsons Season 6, The Simpsons Season 7, and The Simpsons Season 8. Now I got all of these for $5 a piece except for this one. This one is rarer because it was released as like a plastic sort of clamshell that was really easily damaged, and so they offered like an upgrade service free of charge where you had to mail in like a pamphlet, and they would mail you the cardboard exterior. So this is actually kind of a rare one, so I actually ended up paying a little bit more for this. But I'm a big Simpsons fan, but I only wanted to collect up to about Season 8, because I feel like after Season 8 it starts to kind of slide downhill. And so I only wanted the first 8 seasons of The Simpsons, so this pretty much completes my collection of The Simpsons. So I'm really happy to have that. Yeah, I'm going to be checking those out. I have seen a lot of those episodes, but I probably haven't watched them in a long time, so let's keep moving on. Alright, so this next one I picked up specifically for one movie, but it is a movie pack. It's not a movie you really see all that often, but it is one that I really like, and I wanted to own it. And so I picked up the 4-movie collection Hollywood Hits, and I picked it up for Lords of Dogtown, but it also includes Excess Baggage, Motorama, and Running with Scissors. I haven't seen the other 3 in this set, but Lords of Dogtown is one of my favorite, basically, docu-film stories, because I used to skateboard pretty much every single day for a number of years through high school. And Lords of Dogtown essentially is the story of the birth of skateboarding, modern skateboarding I should say. And it's a really great movie. If you're into skateboarding, it's a really good representation of what actually happened at the birth of skateboarding, and it's fairly accurate too. So really great movie, got some good performances in there. It's really well done. I'm interested to check out these other 3 movies as well, but like I said, I haven't even heard of any of them, so I'm not really sure what they are, but really happy to have that one. I've been wanting to get Lords of Dogtown for a while, and I don't really come across it that often, so The next one I picked up is one that I have wanted to get. This is one that I didn't necessarily need to get on Blu-ray, even though there are Blu-rays and even a 4K of one of these. But it is one that I wanted to own just because I like the movies. And I picked up the Starship Trooper 3-pack. Now, I've only ever seen the first Starship Troopers. And I've wanted to check out some of the sequels. So I am excited to have the sequels, but I really picked it up for the first Starship Troopers. I picked this up for $5 out of the Walmart bargain bin, brand new. And at that price, I figured, yeah, DVD's fine. And they all come on their own disc as well, so I think some of them do have special features. But my wife actually watched Starship Troopers for the first time, and she really enjoyed it. So that was a nice, pleasant surprise. So yeah, we're both fans of the first Starship Troopers. And we're probably going to check out Starship Troopers 2 and 3, just because sometimes the sequel movies can be good, sort of like Tremors. They're so bad, they're good. And I'm hoping that is kind of the situation with Starship Troopers, but definitely excited to check those out, and happy to own those. The next is another 2-movie pack that I picked up from the Walmart bargain bin, and these are 2 movies that I've wanted to get. They're not necessarily things that I wanted on Blu-ray, but they are 2 movies I enjoyed and wanted to get on DVD. And that is Kicking and Screaming and Land of the Lost. I'm a big Will Ferrell fan. I like a lot of his comedies. And so these were 2 that I wanted to get, particularly Land of the Lost. That's one that I really, really enjoyed. Kicking and Screaming was kind of all right. But I figured for both of them for $5, so $2.50 a movie, brand new. I figured why not? They both have some special features on here. And that is, so Kicking and Screaming has the red cards, deleted scenes, yellow cards, outtakes, alternate takes, Kicking It with the Kids, Soccer Camp, From Rome to Hollywood, Behind the Net, The Making of Kicking and Screaming. And then Land of the Lost has deleted scenes, A Day in the Life of a Big Movie Star, Devil's Canyon Gift Shop commercial and tour, and then the feature commentary with the director. So, got some cool special features on there, and if you haven't seen Land of the Lost, I highly recommend it. It's a pretty good comedy. And it's one I don't really hear talked about that much, but it is one I enjoy. Alright, the next movie I picked up on DVD is one that I picked up to fill out my superhero collection. Now I have all the MCU movies currently available, and I have all the DCEU movies currently available, except for Black Adam, because I really don't like that movie. So I was kind of branching out into the superhero movies from that I watched growing up in the pre-MCU era, and so I picked up the Fantastic Four, the original one. I actually liked this movie a lot. This is one of my favorite pre-MCU Marvel movies, up there with sort of like, not as good as the X-Men franchise, but I consider it sort of like on par with like the early Spider-Mans, and I actually really like this movie. Now, Rise of the Silver Surfer, I didn't really like that much, but I am going to probably get it at some point just to, you know, fill out the pre-MCU collection, but I am happy to own this. This is one I watched a lot, and I am happy to have it. So some of the special features are a special look at X3 hosted by Marvel Guru Avi Arad. Then you have the full-length audio commentary. You have a video diary, behind the scenes, deleted scenes, Making of Fantastic Four, Fox Movie Channel Presents, and then casting and making a scene. Plus some music videos, which is interesting that you get some music videos. But I'm kind of surprised that it has a preview for X3. I mean, I know it is Fox as well, but just found that a little interesting. Alright, so the next movie I picked up was a complete blind buy. I picked this up for 99 cents from a thrift store. I've never even heard of it, but the cast and the concept itself sounded interesting, so I wanted to pick this up, and that is Artificial Intelligence, and this is a Steven Spielberg movie with Jude Law. So I was interested in checking this out. I am a big sci-fi fan. Steven Spielberg is not my favorite director, but I am always interested to see what he's doing. And Jude Law is a really great actor, so I wanted to check this one out. I picked it up for 99 cents. Have never heard of it, because I really don't follow Steven Spielberg's work all that closely, but I figured why not. So it is a 2-disc special edition with a documentary, some interviews, new behind the scenes, interview with the sound designer, a visit to Winston Studios, interviews with ILM Special Effects Group, which should be fantastic because I love anything with interviews with ILM. They're such a great studio, and some trailers, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, still haven't watched this one yet, but should be interesting to check out. Alright, this next one is another sort of blind buy. I caught this when I was channel surfing on Tubi, streaming one day. I caught a little bit of it, and it seemed pretty interesting. And so I made a note of it and tried to write it down. And I picked this one up for 99 cents used as well, and that is Twilight. This one is with Gene Hackman, and I really do like Gene Hackman a lot. But the reason I picked this up is mainly because it's sort of like a noir detective movie, but it was made in the 90s. And I'm a big fan of 90s movies, and so I figured seeing a 90s take on a detective noir movie should be pretty cool. I am kind of getting into older style movies, and I figured I wanted to see what the 90s recreation of a classic movie style would be. And so the scenes that I saw streaming were pretty good. It sucked me in pretty easily, and so it actually took me a while to turn off the movie because I don't like watching movies from the middle. So really excited to check this one out. It's a semi-blind buy on that. The next one I bought as a recommendation from my father. I'm a big fan of Zorro, and I had never heard of this version of Zorro. I have a couple different versions. Hadn't heard of this one. It's from the 80s, and so he said he watched this growing up. It's called Zorro The Gay Blade, and he said it's sort of like a Mel Brooks style parody. It's not by Mel Brooks, but he said it's a Mel Brooks sort of style parody movie of Zorro movies. And I love Mel Brooks, and I love Zorro, and so I'm also a really big fan of parody movies, so I figured, you know, why not check this out, see what it's all about. It is only 93 minutes long, so that's interesting. I don't think there's any special features on this disc, though. It looks like a pretty bare bones widescreen release, but pretty cool to have. Never have heard of this, and happy to own that one. Alright, so this next one sort of ties into a movie I'm going to show in a little bit. But I picked this one up because I wanted to get into this sci-fi series very badly. I did pick up the first one, so you'll see that in a bit. But I've wanted to get into this sci-fi series, and so I was looking it up. This is one of the sequels, and this one was only released on DVD as far as I can tell in North America. So I picked up Species: The Awakening, which is the last straight-to-video sequel of the Species series. I need to get 2 and 3. They didn't have either of them, but I really didn't care to get this one on Blu-ray. I heard the sequels aren't very good, but I wanted to have them nonetheless just to check out because I'm a big fan of sci-fi stuff. And I figured, you know, DVD's fine. I picked it up for like $3 or so. But it is pretty interesting. I haven't watched any of the Species stuff yet, but I'm excited to check those out. Alright, the next one I picked up is another one that's sort of a kid's movie that I picked up just to show my daughter when she gets old enough. And it's one that I enjoyed growing up. I haven't seen this since the VHS days, so it's been a long time. But I picked up Walt Disney's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Like I said, haven't watched it since the VHS days. But I really liked this as a kid. And it was, you know, really sort of a great adventure movie, and when I saw this I was like, yeah, I think that's something I want to get, especially since it was only $3. It's a big special edition, it has tons of special features, and it's one of the early live-action Disney stuff. So the special features include audio commentaries with the director and a classic film historian, some radio spots from the 50s, the ADR tracks are included. So ADR is essentially after when they redub something because they didn't like the audio take in the actual film, but they don't want to get rid of the actual take, so they'll redub the dialogue. You can actually listen to the original non-dubbed track on this release, which is kind of weird, but also really cool. Then you have Captain Nemo's organ music, and then you have the Making of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Jules Verne and Walt Disney Explorers of the Imagination's Behind the Scenes featurette, a Humboldt squid, a real sea monster, musical legacy of Paul Smith, Touring the Nautilus, Lost Treasure, Disney Audio Studio album, Monsters of the Deep, a script excerpt, a themed cartoon, which I think is super cool to have on there, production gallery, some trims, which I don't even know what that means, trims, it just says trims, movie merchandise, theatrical trailer, storyboards, unused animation, and that is it. So a lot of really cool special features in this set, and yeah, super happy to own that. I haven't seen it in a long time now, so. The next one I picked up is one just because I'm a big fan of this genre. So those of you who have watched my channel for a while and seen a lot of my movie pickups will know that I'm a big fan of vampire movies. And so I picked up a 4-film pack of some vampire movies that I have not seen. They are from various different eras, but two of these are actually ones that I've wanted to check out. And it is the Horror of Dracula, Dracula Has Risen from the Grave, Taste the Blood of Dracula, and then Dracula 1972. So it's a quad pack of a bunch of Dracula movies spanning from the 50s to the 70s. And I've heard various different good things and bad things about some of these. But the cool thing about this pack is normally when you get multi-packs like this, they're really, really compressed with 2 movies on a disc. I'm really glad the way they did this because they're flipper discs. So there's no compression on each movie. You don't get any special features, but there's 1 movie per side of each disc, so there's no compression, but there's also no disc art, and it's kind of an interesting way to do it. I wish more of these multi-packs did it that way, instead of trying to squeeze 2 movies onto one side of 1 disc. But yeah, I'm really excited to check these out. I'm a big Dracula fan and vampire fan, so these will be some good ones to add to my collection. Alright, so this next one is a blind buy as well. I was just going through the 99-cent DVDs at my thrift store, and I have never heard of this movie. I tried to look up some information about it on YouTube. You can't even find this on YouTube, and I know this is a public domain release because it's from 1949. It's an old black and white detective movie, and I'm trying to get into those, some older movies. But I've never heard of this one, probably because it's a British movie, but I also can't find information about it. When I look it up on Google, nothing really pops up. The only thing I can find is this is the only release of this on disc. So there's no Blu-ray or 4K of this, it's only on DVD. And this was released by MVD some time ago, but it is called Torment. So this is a British black and white thriller, and I checked out a couple minutes in the beginning. It's basically about 2 writers that write detective mystery novels, and one of them decides to murder somebody for real for inspiration for his book, and it's sort of like a drama from there. It's only 65 minutes long, so it's a single reel film. It's not very long, but I'm excited to check this one out. The acting seemed pretty good from what I saw. And it's the only release I've ever seen of it. But it is region free, so that's kind of cool. So yeah, never heard of that before. Just a complete blind buy. Saw it in the bargain bin. Alright, this next one is also a bargain bin title that I got from my local thrift store for 99 cents. I wanted to get into this series for a while. I've only seen this one. It's a prequel. And that is the Planet of the Apes, which is sort of like a prequel to the original Planet of the Apes, because I've seen bits and pieces of the original Planet of the Apes, but I've never seen any of the sequels. But this kind of like is a good prequel to that, and I have seen this one before, but for 99 cents I figured this would be the good first step into the Planet of the Apes stuff. I want to get the rest of the original series, all 5 of those, on Blu-ray, but I'm having a hard time finding those, so. This is the 2-disc special edition with a bunch of special features, including audio commentaries, 6 documentaries, 5 extended scenes, some HBO specials, music video, and all that good stuff. So really cool. Check to get this one for 99 cents as well. Yeah, happy to own that. And the last DVD I have is one that I've been looking to get for a long time. I just haven't found a copy that was at a reasonable price. I like this movie, but I'm not going to spend the Blu-ray prices of this. I picked up Dogma. The Blu-ray of this has been out of print for a long time, and it goes for insane money, like $130. This movie isn't worth $130 in my opinion, so I've just been waiting to find a good deal on the DVD. Saw this for $2. I was like, okay, that's good enough. It's got the full screen and the widescreen on it. I'm never going to use the full screen one, but it has both. And it's a pretty bare bones release, but happy to own this on DVD. I've been wanting to own this one. Haven't watched it in a long time. And that is all the DVD releases that I picked up. And now we're going to go into the Blu-rays. So the first Blu-ray that I picked up is actually not one I picked up myself. This is one that my wife picked up because it's something that she wanted to show me for a while now. And we don't have a lot of romance movies. I mean, we have a few romance movies, but she wanted to get more, so we picked this one up, and that is Sweet Home Alabama. Now, I had never seen this, but my wife really wanted me to watch it, so we sat down and watched it recently, and it's actually surprisingly good. It's got a good amount of drama. It keeps you engaged in the story, and it's a fun time. I had a really good time with this movie, and you know, it was not bad. The only downside to this is the Blu-ray transfer is really not that great. It's I would almost put this on one of the better DVD quality releases. Like, I would say this is comparable to like a Superbit DVD. So audiovisual quality not the greatest on this release, but it is nice to have, and it's a pretty good movie. Alright, the next one I picked up is one that I've been meaning to get as well. I just never got around to it, and I know this has a 4K release, but I've never seen it still. But this is one of the remastered Blu-rays, and that is Goodfellas. Like I said, I've never seen this movie, but I've heard nothing but good things. I keep hearing people telling me I need to watch it, and so I bought it on Blu-ray because I think this was like $2 or $3, and I figured that's good enough. I really don't need the 4K of this unless it's really, really like one of my favorites of all time, then I'll upgrade it later. But for a first time watching, I think this will be good enough. So I don't really know much about it, but it's got Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci in it, which should be pretty cool. Next one I picked up is one for my daughter when she gets a little bit older. I think this will be a nice, fun family movie for us, and that is Spooky Buddies. It's just a cute family dog movie, and who doesn't love a bunch of golden retrievers and talking animals and stuff? So I thought this would be a fun family movie for my daughter when she gets old enough, and yeah, so we'll just add that one to the collection. I haven't actually watched it yet, but I found this at Goodwill for like $2, so can't really beat that. Alright, the next one I picked up is the other Blu-ray that I was talking about earlier. I picked up the first Species movie. This is one I'm really excited to watch. I've heard about the Species franchise for a long time, been meaning to check it out, just have not gotten around to it. So this is my first experience with Species, and still haven't watched it yet, but I am excited to check out this franchise, so yeah. This next one is one I have been wanting to get since I saw it in theaters. This is a newer release, and I picked this up day one. I absolutely loved this movie, and that is Megan. I loved this movie when I went to see it in theaters. So I saw this basically on a whim. I didn't see any of the viral marketing because I'm not on TikTok. I don't really do a lot of social media stuff. But I saw this trailer, I think Knock at the Cabin is when I saw the trailer for the first time. And when I saw, maybe it was, or did Knock at the Cabin come out after this? I don't know. I saw this before some rated R movie I went to see in the theaters, and I was like, that looks really like right up my alley. I'm a big fan of slashers. I like sort of horror comedies. I'm a really big fan of them. And this just had my vibe written all over it, and I loved it. It was perfect. Now, I've rewatched this again because I wanted to see the unrated version, and I do think the unrated version is the way to go and the way to watch it, but do not go into the unrated version expecting a great difference. Honestly, it's barely noticeable. The only thing that happens is there's a little bit more blood. And I wouldn't even say there's that much more blood. If you've only ever seen the theatrical cut, you're not missing anything. So if you like the theatrical cut, definitely buy the unrated version. It's definitely going to be up your alley. If you didn't like the PG-13 version and you're thinking the unrated one will make you like it more, it won't. It won't change it at all. But I love this movie and I'm super excited for the sequel, so I had to get this one day one. Next one I picked up is a movie that I watched a lot when it first came out, and I thought it was just a decent movie, a nice action movie with Will Smith. I rewatched this one recently. It still holds up, and that is IRobot. I love this movie. It's a really fun action movie, the only thing I'll say about this is the special effects definitely look like early 2000s PC gamey. They are a little rough, but other than that, the story really does hold up. The transfer is surprisingly really good on this Blu-ray. It's an early Blu-ray, but the picture quality is really good. So definitely recommend checking this one out if you have the chance. Next one I picked up is a movie that I enjoyed. It's another comedy movie to add to my comedy collection. I do like Seth Rogen. He is one of my favorite comedic actors, so I picked up Neighbors. This is one of his better comedies that he's done recently. Some of Seth Rogen's more recent work I'm not a fan of, so I've not bought like Sausage Party. I didn't really like that one. I saw that in theaters, but I didn't really like it that much. And there's a couple other ones that he made that I wasn't a huge fan of, but Neighbors was pretty good, so I'm excited to have this and add this one to the collection, and yeah. Really great addition. The next one is another one that my wife bought. I have never seen this. She watched it growing up and she really likes it. So this is one that she said we had to get since we're having a baby soon. And that is Knobs and Broomsticks. I have no idea what this is about. I have never heard of it. Didn't even know it was a movie until she told me. But we did find the Blu-ray, and it looks really nice. Looks like it's never been played, so yeah, I'm not sure if this is good, but hey, there it is. Next one I picked up was a blind buy. I've never heard of this movie, but I picked it up purely on the premise of it. It sounds like something that I would enjoy, and that is Samurai Marathon. This is a Japanese movie about a marathon that a bunch of samurai go on to prove their worth in fighting off the Westerners that are coming to Japan. And it sounds like a good drama. I'm a big fan of like Asian samurai movies. They're usually pretty good. I don't have a lot of Japanese movies in my collection. I have a few Korean movies. I think I have a couple Chinese movies as well. Didn't really have a lot of Japanese live action stuff, so happy to have this one in the collection, and hopefully it's pretty good. I haven't watched this one yet though. The next thing that I picked up is a collection of movies that I've seen all of on Blu-ray. And I picked this up because it was $5 used, and I was like, I know the 4K collection was coming out, and I think it has come out at this point, but I didn't really need these in 4K, but I picked up the Star Trek Next Generation movie pack. This has all 4 of the Next Generation movies on Blu-ray. I do like the Next Generation movies. I like them a lot, actually. It was probably my first exposure to Star Trek, was the First Contact. And I like those a lot, but I'm not a huge fan of the Next Generation TV show. I've watched all of the original series movies, and I've seen a couple seasons of the Next Generation, but I just couldn't get into it like I could the original series. I guess I'm an original series guy. I just like those better. But I do like the Next Generation movies, so I wanted to get this on Blu-ray. And yeah, I watched First Contact. Really good transfer. Really holds up well. Special effects are still really good for the time. And yeah, I'm excited to see the other ones again. I haven't seen Insurrection in a really long time, probably since VHS. So I'm excited to have that. This next one I have is a custom release. So occasionally I do buy customs. I'm not going to tell you where I buy them from. I do also know how to make customs, but not on Blu-ray. But I do buy customs occasionally, just for things that I know will never come out physically, or streaming exclusives or whatever. And so I picked up the Rings of Power Season 1, and this is a fantastic custom. Video quality is flawless. It looks just like the normal stream. And I loved this series. And my wife and I are big Lord of the Rings fans, and when this series was announced, I was like, we have to get this in one way or another. And I've been waiting for them to release an official copy. I don't see it coming anytime soon, but if they do, I'll replace this custom like I normally do. But for now, this is my copy of it, and it's fantastic. I'll show you what the discs look like. They're pretty nice as well. So this is what the discs look like. And it looks pretty official to me. It's actually one of the better customs that I've had done. So, really happy to have Rings of Power. Highly recommend checking that out if you've never watched it before. And this next one is another custom from the same person. I wanted to get this one as well, just because it actually has pertinence to the others in this franchise. And that is the Loki TV show. Now, the Loki TV show is probably one of my favorite Marvel TV shows, which I'm not a huge fan of the Marvel TV shows. And this one actually is important to the rest of the franchise. So this is one I needed to get. And it's a good release. It all looks really good. And they went the extra mile on this one. They have 2 different disc arts, which is fantastic. And they were nice enough to make a reversible cover art as well, which I thought was fantastic. So that's a nice release. And really happy to add that one to my collection of MCU stuff. Alright, so this next one is a blind buy. It's one that I have heard of before but never actually watched. And I saw it for $3 and I was like, okay, that's a pretty good deal. And like I said, I've been trying to get into some early 50s, 40s titles. And so I figured, you know, why not check this one out? And that is Double Indemnity. Now I've heard a lot about this one. It's a classic noir movie, and this is the 70th anniversary release. I think there's a 4K for this out, but for $3, you can't beat that. Plus there's some really cool bonus features on here, like this comes with the 1973 made-for-TV remake, which is cool because I don't think it has a standalone release at all. So to have that on a disc makes this version worth it alone. And yeah, I put this in just to check out a little bit of it. The acting was phenomenal. It took me a lot of willpower to turn it off. And the picture quality is really good as well, so definitely excited to have this. Haven't watched it yet, but it also comes with some little poster cards here with some, you know, artwork and whatnot. So that's really cool. It's always good to get little like freebies like that in the special editions, and it kind of looks like a little envelope thing, so that's cool. So the next one I picked up is one that was a recommendation from my father, and this is one that I picked up for one reason alone, and that is it's called Against All Flags. This is a Kino Lorber release. I picked this one up because as I was going through my movie collection and cataloging in my Excel sheet, I noticed I have almost no pirate movies. The only pirate movies that I own are Pirates of the Caribbean. And I was like, I want some old 50s pirate movies. I feel like that's sorely lacking from my collection. So I asked my dad, because my dad is one of the reasons why I'm into collecting movies and stuff, because growing up, he always had a collection of movies on VHS and whatnot. And he was a big fan of pirate movies growing up, and so I asked him what would he recommend as an old pirate movie to get as my a first edition of the collection, and he said this was one of his favorites growing up, and so I bought it. Luckily, they had this Kino Lorber at the used video store, just randomly. I was like, he mentioned the name of it, and I was like, I'll see if I can find it, and just surprisingly had the Kino Lorber release. So super cool to have this. Haven't watched it yet, but he says it's a really good pirate movie, so I'm looking forward to checking that out. Another one I picked up from the used movie store was one that I've been basically holding off on watching. I watched the original, and this is the sequel to it, and that is Dr. Sleep. Haven't seen this one yet. I do love The Shining, and I love Ewan McGregor, and I kind of was wanting to watch this when it came out, but I didn't want to spend movie theater prices to watch it. So I found this for $5 in the horror section, and I'm excited to check this one out. Let me know in the comment box below if I should check out the theatrical or the unrated edition, because it comes with both. So excited to check that one out. The last Blu-ray that I have here is one that I've just been meaning to get on Blu-ray. It's been kind of hard to find this one as a standalone Blu-ray release, and that is Hot Fuzz. I love the Cornetto trilogy. I had Shaun of the Dead already. I need to get At World's End now, which At World's End is kind of my least favorite, but Hot Fuzz is amazing. One of my favorite British comedy movies. It's fantastic. If you've never seen it, highly recommend it. Also, highly recommend Shaun of the Dead. They're both fantastic movies. And yeah, I've been basically waiting to find this for a while, and I picked it up for $4, so not bad. Alright, so now we'll move on to the 4Ks. I have 3 4Ks for today. And let's just get right into it. So the first one I picked up is Black Panther Wakanda Forever. This completes my MCU collection. Now I'm all up to date on my MCU stuff. I've watched everything MCU in the theaters ever since Iron Man, so I had already watched this. And in my opinion, this is the best MCU Phase 4 movie. I absolutely love Namor. Definitely one of my favorite villains of the current era of the MCU. I'm excited to see what happens with the Black Panther going forward, because Shuri is a fantastic Black Panther. She does a really good job in this. The picture quality of this 4K is fantastic, and the HDR is awesome. So I've already rewatched this on 4K, and it is a really great release. The next one I picked up is it's a blind buy, but I've heard about this, obviously. Everyone's heard about this movie. I have never seen this, and I know that's going to be blasphemy to a lot of people, but I do want to watch it, and I know I'm probably going to like it, because it's considered one of the best movies of all time. So I picked up Casablanca on 4K, and I've heard nothing but good things about it, and it's been on my want-to-watch list forever. And I know it's a classic, but I know nothing about this movie other than it's supposed to be one of the best movies of all time. So I'm super excited for it. Bought it on 4K because I've heard this transfer is as good as it's ever going to be. And it's really, really good from what I've been told. So I'm excited to watch this one. I have to find a day for me and my wife to sit down and watch it together, because this is supposed to be a really amazing experience. So I'm excited for this. But I got this on 4K. So that'll be really cool when I finally get to watch that. And the last movie that I picked up in the last 4K is one from my childhood, and one I was super excited to see that Shout was releasing, and that is Dragonheart on 4K. So this is an upgrade. I already owned Dragonheart on Blu-ray. I own all of the Dragonheart movies, all 5 of them. And this is the original one on 4K. So I owned the Blu-ray, which was the previously best version, and that one kind of had muted colors and a lot of denoise, and it was okay, but it was the best we had. This is so much better. The picture quality on this is great. The HDR is good. It doesn't really make it, the HDR isn't crazy. It's a modest HDR, but it works really well for this movie. And the special effects, I think, are still really, really good for the time. They're not as good as some newer movies, but I think they hold up really well. You got a nice film grain on it. They did a really good job in restoring this movie.